To educate, what is missing are good teachers. That teacher who, in addition to teaching, has a measure of great wisdom. It is wisdom, and I can't imagine education without wisdom.
Your Eminence, I would like to discuss another topic. Throughout our American continent and at a global level as well, there is a great reality of immigration. There is a great mobility of people from one country to another, some for economic reasons, others for political reasons, others because of wars. Speak to us a bit about this reality of immigration. We would be very interested to hear you express your profound vision of this topic.
I am a child of immigrants, right? My father came as an older immigrant and married here. And since I was a child, I heard two languages at home. And that is very important in my experience. I carry within that ruthlessness, that leaving everything behind to begin again. And not because I had lived this. I was born here. But my father, my grandparents, were not. An immigrant is someone who has to leave what he has to go to the unknown. Now, it is strange. God came to save us through immigrants. When he called Abraham, he did not tell him, look, now I am going to choose you. Construct a temple right here where you are. He said no. Immigrate, leave your land, the home of your father. And all of the chosen people were immigrants. And the patriarchs and the prophets were immigrants. And Jesus was an immigrant. The infant had to escape so that Herod wouldn't kill him. There are so many Herods now, but that's another topic. The early church, like an immigrant, it had to flee in all directions when that tremendous persecution in Jerusalem was unleashed, and from there the gospel was spread. Salvation is closely connected to immigration, and salvation in that sense. But it is perhaps important to leave aside the deeper meaning, to leave one part in order to see another. When one reads the chapter in the letter to the Hebrews, one phrase catches my attention. These men, these women left their country because they were searching for another, and they never arrived. Perhaps they made home along the way, but others welcomed them from afar, didn't they? Salvation comes through immigration. The Bible tells us that, right? And we must not lose sight of this. Or when I see an immigrant here who has to speak another language, who left everything and many times had to escape. I was recently with a 93-year-old Slovenian woman who one morning had to leave her home as if she were going shopping and cross the border in the most secretive way. She left everything. She only had a small bag, as if she were shopping, and she started over. There are immigrants who go to find new opportunities and find them, and others who don't find them. There are immigrants who are exploited. In the city of Buenos Aires, we had recently seen scandals involving immigrants who had been locked in hidden spinning mills and worked 12, 14 hours a day for very little money and one ham sandwich to make it through the day. They exploit the immigrants who had to make a new culture for themselves, and many times are not allowed to express their own. Because an immigrant brings a culture that should be assimilated in some way, he should be accepted and should be adopted by the country that receives him. To be an immigrant is to live a restricted existence between the country they left and the new country they find. And they love both of them. But they only have one heart. the heart of an immigrant suffers from a great loneliness. He lives a restricted existence.
You touch upon a very good point, Your Eminence. Jesus was an immigrant. And I think that this should affect each of us, and every time we have contact with any form of immigration, to remember that Jesus was also an immigrant. Allow me please